Hey everyone, it's Susan from Beekeepers. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about something that may or may not be covered in a lot of people's posts, and that's how to not get stung. Because we, as beekeepers, we know what we're dealing with. It's a stinging insect, and yet some of us hear so many stories about people who are unsure as to what they're dealing with and are shocked when they come away with stings. If you don't want to come away with a swollen face, I have some tips for you for beekeeping, how not to get stung, and to enjoy your time beekeeping. Okay, my first tip is don't try to inspect your hive at night. I'm sure there's a lot of you giggling to yourselves. I know who you are, because you can't help yourself. You're so excited about having your bees. You so much want to see what's going on. You want to make sure you're going to baby them. Don't do it. I had a friend who couldn't wait to check his bees. He loved his bees. And this is being that overprotector, that over lover of the hives. He would actually go out to his hive in his pajamas with a flashlight. And what do you think happened? Of course, he got attacked. It was shocking to him, but for the rest of us who hear these stories, it's a laughing event. At the time, I'm sure he was scared out of his slippers. But it's because bees navigate by the sun. She just came in and hit me. The bees navigate by the sun, so even today I have an overcast day. They're not flying as much as if it was a bright sunny day. They navigate by the sun, and so when you open a hive, especially with that torch, that flashlight, they're coming right to it. If you come up with your headlights on a hive, they're going to come at your hive. And some people have even said the hives in your backyards, they come up to your back light. It's because they're wondering, why is that light there? It's not supposed to be there. They know the difference between a moon and a sun, but the back light is something different. Also, the later and later that you choose to go into your hive, all the foragers are home. The darker the day and the later in the day. So when you open that hive, either in the evening, the early evening, maybe sunset, or God forbid you choose the evening, everybody is home. Everybody. And the foragers are the nastiest of the bunch. They're the oldest, and they're coming out to greet you right in the nose. So when should you inspect your hive? Well, that's why they say the best hours are between 10 and 2. Some of us go early. It's when the sun is out, when it's not rainy or about to rain. Sometimes there are those instances, if you're doing queen rearing like I do, you have to come out in those dark, dreary days according to your schedule. I'm talking to new beekeepers and beekeepers that just want a refresher between the hours of 10 and 2. As the day lengthens, you can go in later, 3, 4, 5, but also where you have your hives in shade, they kind of know that. So any of hives that I have in shade tend to go home earlier. They know their time. Also, as far as inspection goes, cold days, they're all home too. So if you can be out in shirt sleeves, I beekeeped in Maine, so shirt sleeves up there is 40, 45, 50 is definitely bee weather. But you know, you can crack the lid quickly if you're in shirt sleeves. But if you're going to work a hive, make sure it's warm. Otherwise, you're still, again, they're going to jump out at you. And they just don't like the cold. You stand a chance at losing some. Who wants to lose bees to stings? Lose it to something else that maybe is less under your control. If you don't have to be in your hive, don't go in it. So how about when you open the lid? Well, best practice. If you have a smoker and you're one to use it, I don't use smoke, you should crack the lid gently. And don't open it. That lets them know you're coming in. There are people that like to hum, pray. Somehow let them know that you're coming in. If you use smoke, you can smoke the entrance a little bit on a light hand. When you crack the lid, smoke where you crack the lid. And if you use a spray bottle like me, I don't spray anything until I actually have the door open. But imagine this. You're at home, you're relaxing, you're snacking, you're doing your work, and someone barges in. Well, you're going to jump out of your pants and try to protect your house. Why not give your girls the benefit of the doubt and knock on the door a little bit and let them know you're there? There's some studies that say, you know, bees recognize faces. So if they're going to recognize you, let them recognize you as a beekeeper who is polite and knocks before you enter. That'll help before they just come out and greet you. When you are gentle and they still jump out at you, then you have a cause for alarm and you have something wrong with your hive. But if you're just like a bull in a china shop, how do you know when things are good and things are bad? When you finally do open the door and you begin your inspections, think about how you move. How you can move more slowly. Maybe take off your gloves so that you don't just offend them and squish them. Squishing bees is what sets off that alarm. And also moving quickly. Try to think about how it is that you move, and they'll be less likely to treat you as an intruder. Also, when you are in a hive, you should be ready with your personal equipment. If you're not prepared to take a sting, then you should be prepared and be wearing some personal protection. So yeah, you're gonna call me out, right? Personal protection. A lot of times you see me out here in my shirt sleeves, no gloves, but if you see me in a big hive, I'm always wearing a veil, because a face hit is one of the most painful hits there are. And I don't want to get hit like that. And even with my veil, I get hit like that. But I'm prepared for it. I'm prepared for being stung in my shoulder, my back, my hands, through my pants. And most of you can probably say you've been stung through your suits. But at least you have a modicum of protection in case you run into a hive that you didn't know was queenless, or for whatever reason decided to just go crazy. And if you beekeep long enough, you're going to come across at least one time a hive that you might want to nickname vicious.